March 27, 1996. Oprah Winfrey was in the middle of interviewing a panel of authors when a producer handed her an envelope marked urgent. Inside was a letter from a dying child that would stop the show and create the most heartbreaking moment in television history. The Oprah Winfrey Show was running smoothly that Friday afternoon. Oprah was discussing the power of literature, and the studio audience was responding with all the engagement and energy that made the show America's most beloved daytime program. It was supposed to be just another successful episode in Oprah's nearly two-decade run as host. But 7 minutes into the segment, something unprecedented happened. Mark, the show's senior producer, walked onto the stage during the live broadcast, something he had never done in all his years producing the show. In his hand was a white envelope with "Urgent" for Oprah Winfrey written across it in a child's handwriting. Oprah stopped mid-sentence immediately, sensing that something important was happening. The studio audience fell silent, confused by the unexpected interruption. "Oprah," Mark said quietly, though his voice carried through the microphone. "This just arrived at the studio gate. Security thought you should see it immediately." Oprah took the envelope, and as she read the address, her expression changed. The return address simply said, "Lily Marsh, age 8, Children's Hospital, Chicago." "Ladies and gentlemen," Oprah said, turning to the audience and the cameras, "I apologize for the interruption, but something just arrived that I think might be important. Do you mind if I take a moment to read this?" The audience murmured their agreement, and Oprah carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a letter written in the unsteady handwriting of a young child, with some words clearly helped by an adult, but the message unmistakably authentic. Oprah began reading silently, but as she progressed through the letter, her hands started to tremble slightly. The studio audience watched as Oprah Winfrey, the woman who could handle any situation with perfect composure, struggled to maintain her professional demeanor. "I need to read this out loud," Oprah finally said, her voice already thick with emotion. "This is from a little girl named Lily Marsh, and she wrote it from Children's Hospital." Oprah took a breath and began reading. "Dear Ms. Winfrey, my name is Lily, and I am 8 years old. I have a rare heart condition, and the doctors say I don't have very much time left, maybe a few weeks. I watch your show every day with my mom and dad, even though sometimes I'm too tired to move because it makes us laugh and forget about the hospital for a little while. I wanted to write to you because you make so many people happy every day, and I wanted to say thank you before I have to go to heaven. My mom says heaven is nice, but I'm still a little scared because I've never been there before. I have one wish before I go. I want to make people feel brave, just like you make my mom feel brave. I want to tell one story on your show so that when I'm gone, people will remember that Lily Marsh made them feel a little less scared at least once. I know you're very busy and probably get lots of letters, so I understand if you can't do this, but I wanted to ask anyway because my dad always says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Thank you for making my family happy and less scared during a really hard time. Your friend, Lily Marsh. P.S. My favorite book is The Color Purple." By the time Oprah finished reading the letter, there wasn't a dry eye in the studio. The audience sat in stunned silence, and several of the crew members were openly crying. Gayle King, who was in the audience that day, had tears streaming down her face. Oprah carefully folded the letter and looked directly at the camera. When she spoke, her voice was breaking. "Lily," Oprah said, "if you're watching right now with your mom and dad, I want you to know something. You don't have to wait to make people feel brave. You already have, and you're absolutely going to be on this show." Oprah turned to Mark. "Mark, can we get Children's Hospital on the phone right now?" Within 3 minutes, while the show cut to an unplanned commercial break, the production team had reached Children's Hospital and connected with Lily's room. When the show came back on air, Oprah was holding a telephone. "Lily," Oprah said into the phone, her voice gentle, "this is Oprah Winfrey. Can you hear me?" Through the television speakers, the audience could hear a small, weak voice respond. "Really? Is this really Miss Winfrey?" "It's really me, sweetie," Oprah said, smiling through her tears. "I just read your letter on my show, and I have a question for you. Are you ready to tell America your favorite part of The Color Purple right now?" Lily's voice sounded amazed and a little scared. "On TV? Right now? On live television?" Oprah confirmed. 20 million people are waiting to hear Lily Marsh's story. Are you ready? There was a pause, and then Lily's voice came through stronger now. "Okay, I'm ready." "All right, Lily, go ahead," Oprah said, settling into her chair with the phone to her ear and the microphone picking up both sides of the conversation. Lily began to recount a powerful moment from The Color Purple, her small voice conveying the depth of the character's struggles and triumphs. She spoke of courage, resilience, and finding your voice, the very themes Oprah championed. The audience listened in silent rapture, captivated by the pure, unscripted wisdom of an 8-year-old. "That is a beautiful story, Lily," Oprah said, her voice still thick with emotion. "You just made 20 million people feel inspired. How does that feel?" "It feels good," Lily said. "Really good. Thank you, Miss Winfrey." "No, sweetie, thank you," Oprah replied. "Now I want you to listen to something." Oprah signaled to the audience, and they began applauding. Not the usual enthusiastic Oprah show applause, but something deeper and more emotional. They stood up, giving 8-year-old Lily Marsh a standing ovation that she could hear through the phone. "Lily, I want to make you a promise," Oprah said when the applause finally died down. "Your story is going to be remembered. But more than that, I want to do something to help other kids like you. Would that be okay with you?" "What do you want to do?" Lily asked, her voice growing tired but happy. "I want to make sure that kids in the hospital have things that make them feel brave and less scared," Oprah explained. "And I'm going to name the program after you, the Lily Marsh Fund for Children's Hospital Courage. Every kid who's sick and scared should get to feel brave and find their voice, just like you made us feel tonight." "That would be really cool," Lily said, her voice growing tired but happy. "You rest now, okay?" Oprah said softly. "And Lily, you did great. You're a natural storyteller. Bye, Ms. Winfrey. Thank you for letting me be on your show." "Goodbye, Lily. Thank you for being brave enough to write to me." After disconnecting the call, Oprah Winfrey sat at her desk for a long moment, composing herself. The studio audience remained completely silent, waiting for her to continue. "Ladies and gentlemen," Oprah finally said, "I started tonight thinking we'd do our usual show. Some stories, some guests, some inspiration. But sometimes life reminds us what's really important. That little girl has maybe weeks left to live. And instead of being angry or bitter, she used her time to bring courage to other people." Oprah pulled out her handkerchief and wiped her eyes, not bothering to hide her emotion. "I've been doing this show for almost 20 years, and I've had the privilege of interviewing some of the most inspiring people in the world. But I don't think I've ever met anyone braver or more generous than Lily Marsh." The response to Lily's appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show was immediate and overwhelming. By the time the show ended, the Harpo Studios switchboard had received over 10,000 calls. People wanted to know how they could help Lily and other children like her. Within 24 hours, donations to Children's Hospital Chicago had exceeded $50,000. Within a week, that number had grown to over $300,000. People sent letters, books, and gifts addressed to Lily Marsh at the hospital, creating a mountain of support that required extra staff just to manage. But more than the money or gifts, people sent something even more valuable: love and inspiration. Thousands of people wrote to Lily telling her how brave she was, how her story had made them feel less scared, and how her courage had inspired them. Lily Marsh lived for 3 more weeks after her appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show. During that time, she received visitors from across the country, authors who came to read to her, speakers who came to meet their young fan, and ordinary people who simply wanted to thank her for reminding them what courage looked like. Oprah Winfrey visited Lily twice during those final weeks, bringing books and stories and simply sitting with her and her family. On one visit, Lily gave Oprah a drawing she'd made, a picture of the two of them on the Oprah Winfrey Show stage, with the words, "Thank you for making my wish come true," written at the bottom. Oprah kept that drawing in her office at Harpo Studios for the rest of her career, and later moved it to her home, where it remained until her own passing. When Lily Marsh passed away on April 18, 1996, 3 weeks after her Oprah Show appearance, her funeral was attended by hundreds of people, many of whom had never met her, but had been touched by her courage and inspiring story. True to her word, Oprah Winfrey established the Lily Marsh Fund, which provided books, art supplies, and inspiring programs to children in hospitals across the country. The fund started with Oprah's own substantial donation and grew through contributions from viewers who had been moved by Lily's story. Over the following decades, the Lily Marsh Fund helped millions of sick children find moments of courage and inspiration during their most difficult times. The fund provided televisions, video games, books, art supplies, and visits from inspiring speakers to children's hospitals nationwide. In 2006, 10 years after Lily's passing, Oprah's estate donated Lily's drawing to the Smithsonian Institution as part of a collection representing significant moments in television history. Alongside the drawing was the original letter Lily had sent to the Oprah Winfrey Show. Museum curators noted that more visitors stopped to read Lily's letter and see her drawing than almost any other exhibit in the television collection. Parents brought their children to see it, explaining that sometimes the smallest voices can have the biggest impact. Lily Marsh's appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show became a watershed moment in how Americans thought about childhood illness and how media could be used to support sick children. The concept of providing inspiration and emotional support to hospitalized children, which seems obvious now, was relatively new. In 1996, children's hospitals across the country began implementing programs inspired by Lily's story, ensuring that young patients had access to uplifting stories, creative outlets, and moments of normalcy during their treatment. The child life profession, which focuses on helping children cope with healthcare experiences, credits Lily's Oprah Show moment as a turning point in public understanding of the importance of emotional well-being and finding one's voice in pediatric healthcare. In a 2009 interview, Oprah Winfrey was asked about the most memorable moment of her Oprah Show career. Without hesitation, she mentioned Lily Marsh. "I've interviewed presidents and movie stars and some of the most inspiring people in the world," Oprah said. "But an 8-year-old girl with the story about finding her courage taught me more about resilience and generosity than all of them combined." Lily was dying, and instead of focusing on herself, she wanted to make other people feel brave. That's the definition of grace. When the interviewer asked if Oprah had any regrets about that night, Oprah shook her head. "My only regret is that I didn't get to know her longer, but I'm grateful that I got to be part of her story, even if only for those few minutes." Today, when people talk about the Oprah Winfrey Show's most important moments, Lily Marsh's letter is always mentioned. It represents a time when television stopped being just entertainment and became a bridge between a dying child's wish and 20 million hearts. The story Lily told that night has been shared millions of times since then, often with the story of the brave 8-year-old girl who just wanted to make people feel less scared. And every time someone shares that story and Lily's message, she lives on, not as a sick child, but as a storyteller who understood that courage is one of the greatest gifts we can give each other. Oprah Winfrey stopped the Oprah Winfrey Show that night, not because something went wrong, but because something incredibly right was happening. A child needed to be heard, and Oprah made sure the whole country was listening. If this story about Lily's letter and her incredible courage inspired you, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more untold stories about the human moments behind Hollywood's biggest legends. Fame is what we see, but true character is what happens when the cameras are supposed to be off. Drop a comment below about a small voice that had a big impact. We'll see you in the next story.